first thing we started learning is like, oh, your numbers, you guys are a little bit deluded about your numbers. We had to kind of work and crunch it back. But it was taking that feedback that really, really helped us get to the place where we actually listen. So, in all honesty, from where we started, we asked for a lot less. And we realized that as an entrepreneur, you ask for a lot of money, be willing to give up your company. So if you do a lot of work up front, scrub, get into a nice chunk of size, launch, get your traction going, you actually have more power to get into the market. So that was...
Right. I mean, also very funny because you actually asked for less, and then the investors came to you and said, no, wait, we actually want to give you more.
Yeah.
So that's... and Mark, how was that for you?
So for us, our first very quickly, I think up to $220 initially. Now, our second round, which of $1.2 million, that took a very long time, and that was very grueling to raise. After we wanted the first money to execute and build a reasonable business, I started fundraising, and it took a long time. So we actually ran out of money at the beginning of 2014, and you know we had to adjust the business, but we're able to build a profitable business and run through the entire 2014 just on profit, you know, and we're a 25-man team. So I think that generally in Africa, everybody has to be willing to do that. Like, you're not going to raise money and the next round is going to be easy and it'll keep on getting easy. That actually got commitments to raise the capital. The process, the diligence process also took incredibly long and was incredibly hard. And the VCs did not seem to appreciate that we didn't have a lot of cash to pay for all those things. So I had to do a crash course on legal, you know, of legalese and do all those things myself. And basically, you know, just the fact that a lot of people had not done those kind of investments before meant that there was a lot of learning on all sides. And, you know, even the lawyers from South Africa, for example, they had to learn a lot about the Nigerian market and so on. And going it took, you know, like many, many months. And when you're going through such a process, your company is always at risk because you are fundraising during and at the same time trying to make enough money to pay salaries. You know, because if you ever stop that, then at the end, when they're about to sign, they'll be like, hey, you know what? Like, you have no employee left. It's just you. Like, we're not going to do this anymore. But yeah, like, we were able to go through that, and it actually succeeded in the end.
Well, you know, we've, in the last 2 days, launched 30 pretty amazing companies here on the stage again. And I'm absolutely certain that a lot of them will be standing in your shoes one year from now. But, you know, if we were going to try and make their lives a little bit easier, a little bit more, what are some of the learnings or what are some of the tips or tricks that you have, you know, sort of gained over your experience, and what could you possibly share with these this upcoming class of entrepreneurs who are setting out?
So one of the things I would say is, number one is diligence very, very well. Your unique selling point is, because that's what you are going to, that's your ticket. And it will come up when you're talking to investors. That's one thing I'll say, it will come up. How well you know.
Thank you. Thank you. My name is Uyi Stewart. I am the Chief Scientist of IBM Research Africa. So you may ask yourself, what does a company like IBM stand to gain or do here? Let me just take 2 minutes to explain what has happened, the big change that has happened at IBM. We used to be a computer company. However, we've sold our computer business to Lenovo.
This is what?
We now push what we call a smarter product. Now, this change is not trivial. We have transitioned from the development of IT to the IT.
Research and with USAID, etc., because if the ecosystem is not an ecosystem, if you've got many, many individual components and the connections are not happening and the growth is not going together. So I don't know if that's, you know, because yes. You have like a minute to basically just talk about that and say
absolutely. I was going to say that. So the answer to the second question is easier.
Yeah.
Yes, you're right.
Oh, great.
So I'm already working with USAID. But let's take the first one, and I can spend 30 seconds on that. Okay. Right? And I've heard it repeatedly since yesterday. This idea of scalability, right? So we tell the entrepreneurs, you've got to think scale. But we assume that it's easy and trivial to scale. Let us step back and look at the continent of Africa. You've got to have at least a four-pronged approach before you can have an integrated platform. And this goes along geographic lines. West Africa is unique. East Africa is unique. South Africa is unique. North Africa. You need cohesiveness on this regional level, create these sub-hubs of platform, and then unite all. That's
Thank you. I think on the second, ICANN actually is quite open because ICANN's remit is quite, very well focused. It's about coordinating what we call the critical resources of the internet, meaning the servers and then the domain name and the rest. So I do believe everyone uses this platform, if you know about it, right? So definitely we are really up to a partnership. And by the way, we do have our global meetings, and then all the business is there, the governments are there. So there is no point to that. Reflect on this Demo Africa, because I came here for a few reasons, and also I think Harry wanted me also to kind of say what is my feedback, because I really spent 2 days which are very fantastic. I've seen things happening. 2 or 3 weeks ago, I was in an African ministerial meeting, ICT ministerial meeting in Addis Ababa. Right. We spoke, big policies. They were there. But here I'm seeing concrete things. Things that are actually, meaning the takeaways is simple. Community matters. Meaning, it's not about transforming the whole globe or 1 billion people. It's about community. It's about solving local issues with local solutions. That's something which I believe in it. So definitely, I really think that definitely